Hey everyone, if you're tired of paddling your kayak and want to go hands-free while still getting smooth, efficient power, you might be wondering if the Vibe X-Drive Kayak Pedal System is actually worth the investment. It's a common question, especially if you're used to traditional paddling or tiring out your arms on long trips. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I recently put this pedal system on my own kayak, and after a few trips, I've got a pretty good sense of what it does well, and where it might not be the perfect fit. So let's break it down in a way that actually helps you decide if this is the right upgrade for your setup. First, let's talk about the weight. At just 7.5 pounds, it's light enough that you won't feel like you're carrying a brick around. That matters because nobody wants to haul extra weight to the water, especially if you're solo loading your kayak. I've been in situations where I had to carry my kayak for a long distance to get to the water, and every pound counts. The weight of the Vibe X-Drive is one of its strongest selling points, in my opinion. The drop-in installation is also super straightforward, no tools required, and it snaps right into most kayak models without permanent modifications. That's a big plus if you're renting a kayak or just want to keep things simple. I was able to install it on my kayak in under 10 minutes. And it was incredibly easy. The instructions were clear, and the system just clicked into place. I've heard from some people who were a bit skeptical about the installation process, but trust me, it's a breeze. Once you're on the water, the fin drive really shines. Unlike some clunky propeller systems I've tried, this one uses a low-profile fin that cuts through the water quietly and efficiently. You get smooth acceleration without that loud thrashing sound you sometimes hear with other pedal drives. I found it especially useful when I was fishing and needed to reposition quietly without spooking the fish. The hands-free operation lets you focus on casting or just enjoying the scenery instead of worrying about keeping your balance and steering at the same time. It's amazing how much of a difference it makes to be able to just relax and enjoy the experience, rather than constantly paddling and adjusting your position. Another thing I appreciated was the build quality. The pedals are made from durable plastic that feels solid underfoot, and the drive shaft is reinforced to handle bumps and scrapes against rocks or debris. I've accidentally scraped mine a few times, and it's held up great. The fin itself is flexible enough to bend slightly if it hits something, which prevents damage to both the system and your kayak. That kind of resilience is key when you're out on the water for hours, and you don't want to worry about your gear failing you. One practical benefit that surprised me was how well it performs in shallow water. Because it's a fin drive, not a propeller, you can pedal through water that's only a few inches deep without worrying about damaging the system or getting stuck. That's been a lifesaver when I'm exploring narrow creeks or near the shore where the water gets shallow fast. You just lift the fin slightly with the adjustment lever, and you're good to go. I've been able to explore areas that I wouldn't have been able to access with a traditional paddle, and it's been a real game changer. Now, it's not perfect for everyone. If you're used to a traditional paddle, there's definitely a learning curve. It takes a little while to get used to the foot motion, especially when you need to make quick turns. The system doesn't offer the same level of agility as a paddle in tight spots, so if you're navigating through heavy vegetation or tight channels, you might still want a paddle handy. Also, while the fin is durable, it's not indestructible. If you're constantly hitting sharp rocks, you might need to replace it sooner than you'd expect. I think it's also worth noting that the Vibe X-Drive is a great option for people who are new to kayaking. Because it's so easy to use and provides such a smooth ride, it's a great way to get started with the sport. You can focus on getting comfortable with the kayak and the water, without having to worry about paddling and steering at the same time. And, of course, it's also a great option for experienced kayakers who just want to mix things up and try something new. Overall, though, the Vibe X-Drive is a solid choice if you're looking to upgrade your kayak for hands-free cruising without breaking the bank. So if you're ready to ditch the paddle and go hands-free, I think you'll really like the Vibe X-Drive. It's a high-quality system that's designed to make your kayaking experience more enjoyable and convenient. And, as I mentioned earlier, the link is below if you want to see the latest price and details. Hope this helps, and happy paddling!